for us here. The patriarchal paradigm is one of spontaneity in prayer. Abraham woke up and found God. Isaac went out in the afternoon and had a meditative experience. Jacob was running away from Esau, his brother, at night and happened upon God. And many of us have experience of prayers in precisely those ways, spontaneously. And the sacrifices are just the opposite of that. You come at a set time, you put exactly what you are told to put on, you open up the book and you read the words that we are telling you to read. And that is your form of prayer, except you're doing it amidst the community. This tension has been in Judaism. Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel, who people imagine as this like really sweet, kind old man with a German accent who says all kinds of spiritual Yoda-style things. Here's one of the paragraphs he wrote. Our great problem is how not to let the principle of regularity impair the power of spontaneity. Meaning, don't let the sacrificial paradigm get in the way of the patriarchal paradigm. He said, it's a problem that concerns not only prayer, but the whole sphere of Jewish life. If doing it the same way every time gets in the way of a feeling, an emotion that comes to you while you're doing it, and we suppress the emotion for the sake of doing it like everybody else, that's a problem. He said, he who is not aware of this central difficulty is a simpleton, and he who offers a simple solution is a quack. He wrote that in a book. Do you know what would happen if I wrote that in a book? Well, I'm a 50-year-old white guy. I'd get away with it. But he wrote that in a book 50 years ago, 70 years ago. Look, I think something much deeper is going on here with our tradition when they push us into the Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob paradigm of prayer. I think it's more than just spontaneity. I think what they are suggesting to us is that there are three ways of confronting God and the world, the reality of the world. There's the Abraham way, there's the Yitzchak way, and there's the Yaakov way. Rabbi Jonathan Sachs understood it like this. He said, Abraham is mourning the dawn of a new faith. Abraham represents the beginning, a new chapter in the religious history of mankind. Isaac is the afternoon. There's nothing spectacular about the afternoon. There's no qualitative change from dark to light or day to night. Isaac represents a status quo that has in it a slow transition, an almost imperceptible shift. If Abraham is the iconoclast, Isaac represents the quiet courage of continuity, and Jacob is night. Jacob sees his great vision of the ladder and angels. He struggles with an unknown adversary at night. He ends his days in exile in Egypt, beginning the long, dark history of slavery. Abraham is a beginning, Isaac is a middle, and Jacob's an ending. That's Rabbi Sachs. I think there's one more layer to this that is potent, and it is about the context of their praying. When Abraham stands up in the morning before God, he is looking over the destruction of Sodom and Gomorrah. The verse that says Abraham stood before God is Abraham waking up the morning after God destroys an entire city and a plain. A catastrophe that Abraham desperately wanted to prevent but couldn't, and meets God in that destruction. I don't know, does that feel familiar? Isaac had just returned from visiting the place that Hagar was seen holy as herself for the first time by God, Be'er Lachai Roi. Isaac kept going back to where Hagar lived to deal with his past trauma in order to face the present. When Isaac went out to the field to meditate, he was doing the only thing he could do to survive in the world. He learned how to live in the present, in the meditative present. So when you are meditating and you hear things like be present with your breath, what you're hearing is somehow take your past into the present and learn how to be there. Whereas Abraham was looking at the past and could not move another inch. In fact, right after Abraham couldn't move another inch, he went back to Gerar and sold his wife off as his sister, just like he did a few chapters ago. Some of us can't get out of the past and some of us can towards the present. And Jacob is a paradigm. Jacob, when he fell asleep and had the dream of the ladder, he was running from his brother Esau, who was out to kill him because he had just stolen the blessing. Jacob is the paradigm of running from the past into an unknown future. It is unbelievably courageous to leave behind a present that is scary but known for a future that is unknown and also likely very scary. Who are we as a people? This is what I'm asking myself after reading this passage in the Talmud. The rabbis are asking me to confront, am I Abraham looking over destruction, stuck, gonna go back into my past? Am I Isaac? Have I learned how to take the trauma of my past to be present in the world, to live wholly and fully? Or am I Jacob, ready to run from a known and scary present into an unknown future that actually I think is gonna be pretty scary too? I think if we ask ourselves this as a people, we will be ready for what is coming in 2025, the last month, and 2026, which looks honestly really great. I'm ending on a hopeful note. It looks really great. Shabbat Shalom.